Okay. Most cybersecurity programs don't fail because of attackers. They fail because of how decisions are made. I want you to let that sink in for just a second. Most cybersecurity programs don't fail because of attackers. They fail because of how decisions are made.
What?
That might sound counterintuitive, especially when organizations today are spending more on security tools than they've ever spent before. We have better detection tools, more visibility, smarter automation, and yet breaches still happen. Risks still linger, and security teams still feel like they're constantly chasing the same problem. So today, I want to talk about why that actually happens. Not from the vendor perspective, not from a theoretical framework. We're going to talk about what really plays out inside of a cybersecurity program. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with an understanding of why tools can be misinterpreted. Most organizations don't start with bad intentions. They start with the idea of, what can we do to protect us from the bad actors? From there, the easiest and most convenient thing to do is throw money at the problem. This is where the tools come in. They buy tools because tools feel tangible. It's a quick fix, it's an easy fix, it's easy to justify. They give the appearance of progress with dashboards and deployment metrics. You can point to them in a meeting and say, we invested. And just to be clear, tools do matter. I'm not anti-tool by any means. Tools are a must-have, and they have lots of great ones out there. But here's the problem. Tools are often mistaken for outcomes. Now, there are tools out there that take action on problems and they produce some outcomes, but it didn't fix the original problem. For example, let's say you have a tool that detects vulnerabilities. Now, the tool is designed to let you know when you're vulnerable to an attack. Great. Now we know what we have to go patch. But did the tool fix the problem of vulnerabilities? No, it didn't. It just told you where one of the vulnerabilities were and how to go fix it. The larger question is, why are we vulnerable? It could be due to a lack of patch management, operating system controls, or even openings in other softwares that create vulnerabilities in the first place. See where I'm going with this? The tool told you where one problem was, but it did not fix the problem of vulnerability.
Houston, we have a problem.
That's on the security team to decipher and work through internally. The tool just surfaced the problem. So I've seen environments with incredibly mature security stacks, strong endpoint coverage, solid monitoring, plenty of alerts, and the same issues keep resurfacing. The same risks stay open. The same conversations repeat quarter after quarter after quarter. So what's really happening? It's misplaced confidence. Buying security tools feels productive and easy, but changing behavior is uncomfortable and creates work and friction. But that's what it takes to be secure. Tools don't remove risk. They surface it. And if nothing changes after that risk has been surfaced, all you've really done was create more noise. You've willingly accepted the risk that was exposed. Okay, now let's talk about metrics. They look good, but they don't change the outcome. Most executive-facing security metrics answer one question. What do we see? Well, we see how many alerts we have. We see what percentage of systems are covered. We see how many vulnerabilities are detected. Those are visibility metrics, and visibility metrics do matter. What often gets missed is the more important question. What changed because of the tool we deployed? Was it an automation that fixes something that's been seen? Was it how the user interacts with the environment? What is it truly changing? I've seen programs with less than 5% of security spend actually change the outcomes. The rest just improves the dashboard. That means that 95% of that spend was used to simply improve the numbers on the dashboard and not truly make any change to your environment and make you more secure. Dashboards don't make decisions. People do. An alert only matters if someone owns the decision behind it. Otherwise, it's just data parsing on a screen. When metrics don't create driven action, They create the perception of control without true risk reduction. At the end of the day, reducing risk is literally the job description for anyone in cybersecurity. This applies from the CISO all the way down to the analysts. Reduce the risk without creating friction between the business and the customers, or at least minimize that friction. Now we need to talk about something really important. It's by far the most important of this segment. It's ownership, the real control point. This is the part that makes or breaks security programs. Controls without ownership will fail every single time. When risk has no clear owner, a few things are going to happen. Issues linger around. Exceptions pile up. Temporary decisions become permanent decisions. Security becomes advisory, optional, and easy to defer. If you've ever asked, who owns this risk, and the answer is unclear, you already have the answer. It's you. I've seen environments where incidents dropped not because of the tools being deployed, but because ownership became explicit. Decisions were documented, trade-offs were acknowledged, and the risk wasn't eliminated, but it was consciously accepted, or it was at least addressed. That's the key difference. If everyone owns risk, no one owns it. Tools don't enforce accountability. Leadership enforces accountability. Accepting ownership of a problem or a risk, that's what holds accountability, and that's what makes environments more secure. Okay, now I want to talk about something that really doesn't get addressed enough. It's why good programs still fail. Most security programs don't fail outright. They simply stall. They stall because business priorities shift, because speed actually matters, and because security authority isn't always clear. Cybersecurity teams are often asked to move fast, say yes more often, and absorb risk very quickly. They're asked to accept responsibility for outcomes they don't fully control. Over time, advice without authority turns into background noise. Security without authority is just advice. This idea is exactly why CISOs need a seat at the big table or the board meetings. That advice is very easily ignored when deadlines, revenue, and delivery pressure enter the conversation. This is where frustration keeps in. Not because people don't care, but because the system isn't designed for follow-through. Changing how things operate or following through with advice creates friction between the business and the customers. That friction translates directly into dollars and will always get pushed away for that short-term game. However, the long-term game is much more important, and the idea is to not get owned by a bad actor, making a much larger impact on the bottom line. Much, much larger. All right, so the million-dollar question: what actually works? What moves the needle per se? It's rarely more complexity. Tools can, in some cases, add complexity. They can create things like tool sprawl, or too much defense in depth, or unnecessary friction. The best answer to what actually works is clarity. Fewer tools can equal clearer outcomes. Risk gets explained in business language. Decisions made before incidents, not after. Leadership can get engaged early and not reactively. Tools still matter, but they should support strategy, not replace strategy. The strongest security programs I've seen are not the loudest. They're the ones that accountability is clear, decisions are very visible, and trade-offs are very, very intentional. This is also where the strongest leaders stand out. Not by knowing every tool in the system, but by driving clarity where there used to be uncertainty or vagueness. Owning clarity strengthens a security program more than any single tool on the market. Without clarity, it's just security through obscurity. So I hope this helps clear up how you can help fit the right tool into your environment, and also how to help keep the programs from failing, even with all those great tools. If this episode resonates with you or helps you to start shaping your security programs with a bit more clarity, give the video a like and subscribe. I try to share practical security leadership insights as much as discussing the tools and the gaps that go with it. So from red teams to real teams, this is what really works. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Cyber Sandbox.